but for how long and to what effect? Paul Adams, BBC News.
Well, I'm joined now by Lieutenant Colonel Davies, former soldier who served in Afghanistan, now a senior fellow and military expert at Defense Priorities in Washington. Good to have you on the program with us again, Lieutenant Colonel Davies. 5 regional cities have fallen now, including Kunduz. Is Kabul next? And what is the end game for the Taliban here?
Yeah, I doubt that Kabul is going to be next because that is literally the capital and both figuratively and literally for the Afghan government side, and they will do everything they can to protect that, and they will marshal their resources if they need to. But the anguishing thing to me is that this is entirely predictable. I've been worried about this for many years, as have been several other people. And this was entirely avoidable, at least to the degree that we're seeing it here. And I am concerned about what's going to happen next, but this can't surprise anyone who's been paying attention to some of the reports that have come out, especially from the Special Inspector General for Afghan Reconstruction, the SIGAR, who just this past week was equally as frustrated as I am a little bit right now about how anyone could have been surprised by this because of the really bad way we've been doing business over the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, you say that this could have been avoided. How could it have been avoided?
If we had just taken the advice of the Special Inspector General and said and corrected the way we were training and gotten rid of the corruption by holding people accountable. But what we did year after year, we just kept giving all these pronouncements that everything's going fine. They're making great progress, and then not holding anyone accountable when we had graphic evidence of gross misappropriation of funds and stealing and all that. No one was ever held to account. So, of course, they're going to continue on doing it. And then the people who pay the biggest price are the Afghan soldiers, who were often victimized by a lot of this, the Afghan people, while all these people were making lots of money up at the top, and we just turned a blind eye to it because we cannot claim, we did not know this was going to happen, that it was happening, and we frankly bear a share of the responsibility for what's taking place right now.
Are there any prospects for a ceasefire?
You know, I think that there is some prospects. I'm not completely hopeless yet because as with the ISIS, when they took over large portions of Iraq in 2014, they actually didn't expect to have that much success. They didn't realize that the Iraqi security forces would collapse the way they did. And the problem is they can go and take terrain, but they are not staffed, manned, or even capable of administering a large city like Kunduz, for example. That's just beyond their capability. So they're not going to be able to hold on to these, and certainly not going to be able to administer them like they're going to take over territory. So I think you're going to find some of these are transient. So it's going to give the people a chance. But before the Afghan soldiers are going to fight, they've got to have some leadership that's going to stand up that they can trust. And so far, we haven't seen a lot of that.
Lieutenant Colonel Davies, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.